Right. Hi everyone, Ray Zachariah here. As you can see, it's looking good, and hopefully it will do better with the following year. I'm in Edgbaston. It's a reservoir. It's a nice little place. Trees and a bit of water. It's as close to the sea as I'm gonna get here in the West Midlands anyway. I'll come down here just to chill sometime. I haven't been down here in a long time, so hence why I'm here now is, let me tell you, been doing a lot of riding this year. I've gone up to Scotland, I've gone up to the Pennines, I've gone to Wales, and I've been to Lake District. Those are the actual far places I've gone, and I've also gone to London. So I've done a bit of traveling. What I want to do with this video is go over the things that I've done. First of all, this is how it all started. Good morning. Today, the 27th of November at 7:30, I have my CBT. I passed. After passing my CBT, I applied for my theory test. While the theory test was upcoming, I got some bike gear, shoes, clothes, helmet, etc. I also decided to get the bike roadworthy. Then came my theory test date. I was in there for about 50 minutes. That didn't take too long. Yeah, I have passed. Right. Now I've got to book my practical mod 1 and 2. I took the bike into a garage to get a full service and check over. Then I was ready for my lessons. The 6th of April, my direct access training lessons began on this Yamaha XJ6. I started off very easy, learning to move off, learning to stop between cones.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
And I moved on to a bigger arena where I'd be practicing the maneuvers I would be performing on the day of my test. The practice session went well, but I did struggle on my emergency braking. I got it right in the end. Well, the day of the test is coming. Oh, right. Still. Mod 1. Unsuccessful. That's right. I failed. I failed in the very exercise that I was worried about. Emergency brake. 6 days later, I was at it again. At my mod 1. I couldn't believe it. I failed the second time on the same exercise, emergency stop. The first time I stopped too early. This time I stopped too late. I'm going to rebook. I was too close to quit. Yes, it did cost me more money, but I was determined to finish. 3 days later, I was at it again. So now the pressure was on. Today I had mod 1 and mod 2 to complete. I passed the mod 1. Woo! And I passed the mod 2. Yep, I was really happy. Yeah, I think I'm crazy. Well, thank God I passed mod 1 and mod 2. As I was seated in a different position on this bike, I thought I'm going to need the practice to get used to the bike before I get out on the road. After a few days, it was going brilliantly until it's a good opportunity for me to test out my brakes. Apart from a few scratches on the bike, no one was hurt in the making of this film. As time went on, I started making modifications to the bike that suited the purpose of me having it. I started out riding locally, then a little further out. I eventually went to my first event, which was the GDR, that's the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, where I met the YouTuber Freddie Dobbs, who had just had his Bonneville replenished. And that was the first time I had an opportunity to ride with other bikers on a group ride. After learning some chain maintenance, I was on the road again. Getting on the bike gave me a new lease of a sense of freedom to travel further and to explore different places that I simply wouldn't have considered exploring or going before I had the bike. I challenged myself to go further and further out every time. That's the money shot right there. I remember the time I was just starting out on a journey and my chain bust. Luckily, I wasn't too far from home. I got a delivery truck to pick me up, and by the following week, I've got a new sprocket and chain for my journey to London. My daughter was graduating at the Abbey Road Studios, and we were all fortunate enough to see Sir Paul McCartney. I think he was practicing in the next studio, and they asked him to come and present an award. What else can I remember? A friend of mine's got an allotment, and I went down to pay him a visit to see how he was doing. I am with a friend at the moment in his allotment, and it was good just catching up with each other, sitting down and chilling for a while. As my confidence in the bike grows, I go further out. This time, I'm off to Wales, to Aberystwyth. I'd never been this far before. It turned out to be a nice ride and an excellent day out. These roads up here in Wales ain't ramping. The next journey took me to one of my bucket list destinations, the Gospel Pass. The start of the pass begins near Hay-on-Wye and winds its way through the mountains. And I pretty much got the place to myself. As it turned out, this place was quite spectacular. The following week, I added more stuff to make the bike more comfortable. I added a throttle lock, I added a tank bag, and some saddlebags or panniers. Do you all remember that journey going up to the Lake District? Oh man, classic. Now, I was prepared for the longest trip to date, going camping for the first time. Excited going on this motorcycle camping trip, I packed my stuff the night before. It still took me another couple of hours to get out the house and on the road. I decided to park the bike over at the side so I can get something to drink. Somehow, the bike fell, smashing the brake lever to pieces, causing me to ride a 70-mile round trip to the nearest Kawasaki dealer to replace the lever that was broken. Then after arriving at the campsite, I realised got no poles, have I? I've got a tent, but there's no poles in it. I have no idea what I'm going to do now. Yep, another big problem. Well, I decided to go to the nearest shop to pick up the cheapest tent I could find. Only a small one, like a two-person tent, but yeah. So, after returning to the campsite and setting up my £19 tent, I sat down and made something to eat. The following morning, I woke up to one of the most picturesque campsites of all time. After making myself a cup of tea, I was off to ride the Hard Knocks Pass. Wheel into the turns. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sorry. Just like that. Somebody could be coming around the corner. After spending the whole day riding, I arrived back to the camp and reflected on the whole day. The following morning, it was time to leave. This turned out to be one of the most adventurous trips I've been on so far. It was a long ride home, but I couldn't wait to see what the next adventure had in store for me. The biggest journey so far was when I went to Scotland. That was an epic journey. Rode a film. Got home, I replaced the fender or mudguard that was torn off and ordered a new one, which took about 3 or 4 weeks to arrive. Well, I've put it on. Then I got this from eBay. Put that on as well. I reserviced the bike. Now I was off on the longest journey for the biggest adventure that I had ever been on at any time. I was gonna head Looking on the map, the journey seemed a lot shorter, and it was in actual reality. This is a little gem. After riding for over 6 hours, I was now by Loch Lomond in Scotland, where I had my first ever wild camping experience. So the goal this morning is a booked campsite in Wick, where I need to reach within the next 5 to 6 hours. Extremely eager to reach my destination, I was up the crack of dawn and on the road. So yeah, that's me. I'm hanging about in Loch Lomond. So now I'm literally minutes away from the town of Wick. After arriving in Wick at my campsite, I set up tent. I bought some food from the supermarket with the intention of cooking something later.
I'm not going to talk too long. These meat is still in there, man. Little tiny thing. Terrible here. Yeah, I'm here. Set up my tent. I'm just going to go to get some stuff to eat.
Then I carried on to my destination, a few miles up the road, to John O'Groats. I'm excited. This is it. After checking the map, I realized it's not John O'Groats, but Dunnet Head. That's the furthest north. So I set off for another 25-minute ride to Dunnet Head. I could see more than I hoped. This is it.
Clear up over there. Over there. The mist is coming in. Yeah, really nice.
So glad.
As far north as I can go.
I'd finally done it. Time to go home. Whilst returning on the M6, my magnetic tank bag fell off. I retrieved what I could, but I need to sort that out. So for some reason, the fog lights I'd put on had stopped working. So I decided to investigate. Found out that the water had got onto the wire somehow, making the wire compromised. So I took the wires out to replace it another date. Whilst I was at it, I gave the bike another service. Some days later, I visited the National Motorcycle Museum in Solihull. After that, I visited the fantastic Black Mountain Pass in Wales. Truly epic. Hey everyone, it's me, Ray Zachariah. I am here at the NEC Birmingham for the Motorcycle Live 2024. It's all happening. So I was really looking forward to going to this show. Again, it was the first time I had ever been to a live motorcycle show like this, and it was really, really good. I saw a lot of beautiful looking bikes, a lot of new bikes, new models, new names entering the market, and it was exciting. It was really good. And again, it was back to visiting my local areas. I visited Clint Hill for the first time. It's a lovely little area to visit, and it wasn't too far from me. And as I exited the area, I had a bit of a near miss. Oops. That was close. So whilst visiting the NEC Motorcycle Live, I was introduced to customized earring protection. I had never even heard of it before, and it looked really intriguing. After watching the process being performed on someone else, I decided to get one also. And while still here at the NEC, I was really excited to try out the electric bike. It very quickly became obvious that this is not for me. Another weekend, and I'm out for a night ride visiting the Frankfurt Market in Birmingham City Centre. I literally just bought myself a TomTom
More
rider,
modifications to my
and I'm about
Vulcan
to
S.
install
This
it.
time, I'm fitting a TomTom rider. I've been looking forward to doing this for a long time.
Superb. That's exactly what I wanted. That's it. Job done. When I was riding to the Birmingham Frankfurt Market at night, I heard a sound. I realized that my brake disc needed attention. So that was my next repair job. The following week was even busier. During my ride to the Barbican at the Memorial stand, I revealed 3 more modifications to the bike. The first one was the clip-on heated grips, game changer for me. Secondly, I changed my indicators to the directional signaled ones. And finally, I had replaced the wiring to install some new fog lights later. The following week, I decided to up my game a bit and create a logo for the channel. I bought this tool or device to help me align my chain more accurately. To be honest, I've used it probably twice since I've had it, so I'm not sure how useful it's been. I took a ride down to Cannock Chase. It was a really cold day, but my heated gloves came in really handy.
I also remember when I went up to the Pennines
Was it up by Snake Pass?
So, another week and another trip up to the Pennines. This time, I want to do the Snake Pass. It's been one of my bucket list tick-offs, and it proved to be as thrilling as I had anticipated. Then it was down to London to see the Moto show live. Though I enjoyed the journey, I enjoyed the experience of going there, I felt like I'd seen it before. During my journey to the Snake Pass, my bike had problems starting up, so I decided to have a look at it when I got back. After doing my own examination, I realized my spark plugs needed changing. I also broke my gear shift rod, so I had to change that as well.
Okay.
Then I took a trip out to Longyearbyen to see the tallest viaduct in England.
A height of 126 feet above the river. It was designed by Thomas Telford and completed in 1805.
The following day, my bike was up for MOT, so I had to sort my tyres out. And of course, it passed the MOT. The following week, this was the first bike meetup for me. I met up with a friend at the Danery, but then we went out for a short ride. It was a nice experience, having a chat around bikes, around some picturesque scenic views. Another week, and I saw this Innov power hub. It's like a junction box. This is a really good idea to add power units to your bike. So I connected the new auxiliary fog light to the Innov box. Once your electrical device is connected to it, it's powered on and off by ignition start. In essence, it means no battery drain. Another week and another adventure, this time into the NEC for the classic car and restoration show. The following week, I was to meet up with Mike and his brother. We had a bite to eat, had a chat, and went out on the road for a little ride. It's a great place to meet people in fantastic surroundings.
Do you remember the tent that I put up while I got to the campsite? Well, yeah, I found the poles for it now, so yeah, we can get that tent back up. But I really still do like my £19 tent. It's a perfect size. Well, it could be a little bit bigger, but it's a perfect weight, and it does what it says on the tin.
I hadn't been around Birmingham for a while, so I decided to take you for a journey around the streets of Birmingham city centre. The following week, I went closer into the city centre on foot, and we saw some of the landmarks and structures on display.
Bolton, Watt, and Murdoch statue. This statue was commissioned in 1939.
We walked along Centenary Walk down to Victoria Square, where we saw various buildings like the Town Hall, statue of Queen Victoria, and the Council House. And that brings us to the penultimate episode of the St. George's Day Parade in Shirley. Friendly people, another wonderful gathering of both motorcyclists and members of the public alike. Some I've met, most I haven't. Celebrating in one accord. As it's been a year since I've been riding,
Memories brought me back to my old stomping ground. So I went back to see my instructor, just to let him know I'm alive and doing well.
Guys, I've met up with my former instructor, Phil. This is the guy that's responsible for getting me on the road. He stuck with me through my failures.
How are we doing, guys? Good to be with you. Safe riding out there. Enjoy.
And if you're in Birmingham, this is the instructor that you want to go with. Riders Motorcycle Training.
And afterwards, I went back to the car park that I used to practice at to go over some maneuvers again, just for old time's sakes. And that's it then. That's my journey to date.
This is the end of season 1. I know it's been a year, but I'm still calling it season 1. What I'm going to do is start another season. This is going to be season 2, which is really and truly year 2. So thanks for joining me here at the park. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Thank you for my, 251 subscribers now. I hope to supply a lot more entertaining videos in the near future. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.